Interesting and informative facts about fish. The largest fish in the world is the whale shark, which can weigh 20 to 25 tons and be over 17 meters long. Fortunately, these fish are completely harmless. Interesting facts about sharks. The rockfish is the most poisonous of all. Its rough skin is covered with prickles with poison, which in most cases turns out to be fatal for careless swimmers. Swordfish, the fastest in the world, it can swim at a mind-boggling speed of 130 kilometers per hour. The seahorse, despite its unusual appearance, is also a fish in terms of biology. By the way, the slowest fish in an hour, it swims about 1.5 meters. In addition, the seahorse is the only fish that does not swim horizontally, but vertically. Catfish holds the record for the number of taste buds among all animals on our planet. It has as many as 27,000 of them. In the Black Sea, perches are almost always born female, but when they reach the age of 5, many of them change sex and become males. Interesting facts about the Black Sea. The humpback whale is the loudest sound a living thing can make. Sharks have no bones, only cartilage. A fish called the mud skipper spends more time on land than in water. It is able to get oxygen directly from the air, through the skin, and it moves on land by leaning on its fins. Most women's lipsticks contain fish scales. The electric eel is capable of killing even such a large animal as a horse with a single discharge. People began to catch fish at the dawn of human civilization. The oldest of the fish hooks found by archaeologists was made over 42,000 years ago. Flying fish can glide across the surface of the water, pushing off from it for hundreds of meters, jumping 5 to 6 meters into the air. Most fish cannot swim backwards. Hammerhead sharks live in packs of up to 500 each. Such a pack devours everything in its path. Predatory white sharks often fall prey to orcas. Interesting facts about orcas. Currently, there are about 32,000 different species of fish on Earth, and new ones are found regularly. Sunfish lay up to 300 million eggs each year. The oldest fish living on Earth is the Latimeria, a black-bellied swallow living at considerable depths. It can swallow a prey weighing 10 times its own weight. The splashing fish aptly spits jets of water at insects flying over it. Falling into the water, these insects go to the splash fish for dinner. Many fish species are able to distinguish colors. Sardine is not an independent species, but a trade name for small fish of the herring family. Many small varieties of pickled fish, including herrings and sardines, can hide under it. They used to be called sardines. Puffer fish are fish of the puffer family, which includes the famous fugu, the most poisonous fish in the world. Tetrodotoxin, the poison contained in a single fugu fish, is 1,200 times more deadly than cyanide and can kill up to 500 people. Despite this, fugu is a popular Japanese dish. The Japanese eat 10,000 tons of this delicacy a year. And there are 80,000 licensed chefs in Osaka authorized to cut up fugu fish. The ability of fish to determine the chemical composition of water is clearly visible in salmon. They go to spawn from the sea to river systems, identifying by the smell of the water exactly the stream or river in which they themselves once emerged from the eggs. The ability of fish to determine the chemical composition of water is clearly seen in salmon. They go to spawn from the sea to river systems, identifying by the smell of water exactly the stream or river in which they themselves once emerged from the eggs. Raw fish is healthier to eat than heat-treated fish, because the raw product has more polyunsaturated fatty acids, omega-3, valuable protein and other useful elements. Raw fish is contraindicated for young children, people with weakened immune system, the elderly, and pregnant women. In addition to bacteria, raw fish can contain mercury, which negatively affects the development of the fetus. It is better to eat wild fish raw. Salmon raised on compound feed with bioadditives in fish farms needs to be cooked. Heat treatment helps to break down the chemical elements in the fish and minimizes the chance of getting heavy substances into the human body. If you happen to buy fish for ceviche or tartare at home, but are still afraid to eat it raw because of the risk of infections, leave it in the freezer for a week. Freezing slows the growth of bacteria and may even reduce it. Only sea and ocean fish can be eaten raw, because parasites that are dangerous to humans do not survive in salt water. Fish from rivers and lakes should definitely be fried or boiled. The most mined variety in the world is the Peruvian anchovy. It is followed by pollock, tuna, Atlantic herring and mackerel. Most of the fish in the stores are the result of breeding to create new species of fast-growing and fast-fat fish. Mostly in fish farms they are raised on mixed fodder with a lot of antibiotics added. When choosing between wild and farmed fish, give preference to the former. Farm fish will be less expensive, but less nutritious. Its content of minerals and polyunsaturated fatty acids is many times less than that of wild fish. On the shelf one can distinguish wild fish from farmed fish by its appearance. Farmed specimens tend to be bloated, wide, fatty and soft. Wild fish may appear shrunken, and their body will be denser. One of the achievements of Soviet breeders is the Bester fish, obtained by crossing the beluga with the sterlet. Bester grows quickly, like beluga, and matures early, like sterlet, reaching a length of up to 1.8 meters and a weight of up to 30 kilograms. Fish and fish products are the best dietary sources of vitamin D. Fatty fish, such as salmon and herring, contain the highest amounts. Some fish oils, such as cod liver oil, are also rich in vitamin D. 1 tablespoon will provide more than 200% of the recommended amount. To maximize the supply of vitamins and beneficial elements in fish, cook it properly. The best cooking methods are baking, steaming and sous vide, a low-temperature method of cooking. It will not only help to keep healthy fats, but also reduce the number of harmful compounds, which are formed by processing products at high temperatures. There is little domestic fish in Russian restaurants, because restaurateurs prefer to work with foreign suppliers and imported product. There is a lot of fish in Russia, but they do not know how to store, package, deliver, and preserve its marketable appearance. But if you find omul, muksun, nelma and other fish from northern Russian rivers in a restaurant, don't deny yourself the pleasure of trying them. In Soviet times, the caviar was many times cheaper than grainy caviar, because it was considered the result of residual production, albeit with a particularly bright flavor. Wild pollock, fresh but not frozen, is a protein-rich, low-calorie fish with a mild taste and delicate texture. Pollock meat contains high levels of omega-3 fatty acids and vitamins B6 and B12. Sea bass is the leader in vitamin D content. One serving will cover 2 days' worth of vitamin D. However, its reserves are almost depleted. The healthiest varieties of fish are pollock, salmon and trout, mackerel, but not smoked, cod and haddock.